Brilliant.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your kind introduction. My presentations regards about a project. My entity, the municipality of Santander in the northern part of Spain, has participated in the European project called NextVision that is focused on using local storage energy hardware and software systems in order to improve the working time of the renewable system energies. In our case, I'm going to tell a bit about a short introduction to Santander in order to establish the project of our participation. Then talking about the Santander strategy as a smart city, try to become a smart city, and also talking about a bit about activities and strategy on focus on energy, and then talk about what were our participation in the NextVision project. Well, Santander is located in the northern part of Spain. It's not a big city. Just to give some figures, 172,000 inhabitants. What is interesting about our city is that we have a pretty amount of everything. I mean, we have several transportation systems. We have economic activity focus on service center. And also we have a pretty amount of knowledge and technical resource. This is interesting because using this kind of resources, we have become a kind of urban lab in which several experiment and pilot related to IoT and to IT system are deployed. Our main strategy is summarized in this figure, coming from top left and going to the right. The first part of our strategy is that we want to be active in innovation, not merely to be passive and receive those innovation from companies and from research, but to be part of this innovation. This bring a lot of benefits, at least from my point of view, to those interested in doing research and also to those companies providing technologies, because we are involved from the very first beginning of the project, and we help to develop ideas for a city in order to be more successful at the end. What is the way we do that? Is by deploying pilots and experiments in the cities. I've talked before that we are such a kind of urban lab in which we use the cities and the citizens in order to deploy pilots and experiments. What we get from this kind of activity is a lot of lessons learned, because we think that the success for a product in the city relies on several aspects. Not only the technical one, that is, at least from my point of view, at the end, the easiest part of the landscape, but also it's important to think about the end users, in our case the citizens, that are going to receive the products that we are providing. Sometimes happens that you devise a product that at the end nobody in the city wants that product. So when we participate from the very first beginning, we can give hints about what's going to be accepted or not. Also, it's important in a municipality, the municipality workers, but because at the end, if we provide a new service, a new technology, there are the people that are working at the end with that technology or with that services. They are not happy with that. It's difficult to introduce that in the city. And also, for private companies, of course, that are around the smart city, that are normally service providers, that they have to, make investments and has a good economic result for the activities they do. And how we implement this lesson learned in the city? Well, in two different aspects. The first one is carry out innovation projects inside the city. I mean, a new service, a new innovative service that has been devised after doing a pilot and being successful, and also introducing in the call for procurements for municipality services, introduces those IT requirements that implement those ideas, those successful ideas that has been tested before. As a result of that, we have participated in several European projects since 2010, and we are also participating now. And on the left part, you can see the projects, and on the right part, the innovation project in the city. You see an arrow, a green arrow, coming from left to right, and I have to say that it's easy to draw that arrow, but to carry out in the reality is very, very difficult. But we have achieved some specific projects in the city related to waste management, water management, street light management, traffic management, more or less all municipality services. Related to energy, we did several years ago an audit of the city, and the first result of the city was a complete renewal of the street light. That was made with an ESCO company because the amount of investment was so high that we need to do in that way. And now we have completely renewed the light street. Also, we carry several pilots in the city, like putting a presence sensor in some parts of the city in order to not keep the light on when people were not there. And this is very interesting to test that, because sometimes it's important to select well those parts of the city that you can try to implement that kind of technology, because in other parts people can feel that if you have not light in the street, you don't feel secure. So it's very important, as I said before, the citizen's perspective. Also, I have to tell that another result of that audit was to make actions to improve the energy efficiency in municipality buildings. That was the amount of investment was so low that the municipality did it by itself, and this is now being carried out. Regarding other energy projects, we are now participating in Interreg Europe project called Empower. What is interesting of this project is that we are trying to dynamically monitoring energy efficiency in building, not only to do the efficiency action, but also monitor them then when they are working. So we can deploy financial instruments that takes into account those improving results when you are making action to increase the energy efficiency of the buildings. What was our interest about the Efficient project? As I said, it was a kind of project that lasted 4 years. in order to put local storage energy systems in order to increase the amount of working hours of the renewable energy systems. Well, our main interest was obtaining know-how about the technologies, the components, and their combination. There was a lot of components and hardware system that was already prepared, but the integration was a kind of challenge, and we wanted to learn about that. In order to see the real deployment that was made in an island, the Borkum Island, in the northern part of Germany, it was interesting for us to know the physical space allocation and the installation difficulties, because it was a real project in which the pilot was deployed with the citizens of the island. Also, we were interested in safety requirements, in the user feedback, and the cost effectiveness of the investment. And finally, least but not the legal aspects of the installation. With that kind of information, we mainly, for us, did training for the people working on public procurement in order to introduce those learnings in our normal activity, assessment, also working in legislation and standards, because we are we are working with several national and international standards, so we can push those lessons learned to the legislation and standards, and also to devise new innovation projects. It was our first experience as a follower, because, as I said, we used to be the place in which an experiment is deployed or a pilot is deployed. And at the beginning, it was a bit disappointing for us, the Spanish regulation, but because it was very different from Germany, the country where the pilot was deployed. And also there was an important gap between the European Union legislation and the Spanish legislation. Well, there was another benefits, but I don't want to take long about that, like networking enhancement that you have in every European project, and also different other aspects that I don't want to talk long. But talking about the application of the NetFission project, there was several applications. First was about homes, in which we want to establish a new municipality service in order to help citizens to adopt the results of the NetFission project. Also for larger buildings, in which we want to develop new regulation and financial instrument, and also to implement this application in the municipality building. Relating to the application of peak saving, peak saving, we want to develop a urban planning taking into account the utility needs for this application. Also, there was an application in the Borkum Island related to a singular facility, in fact, in an aquarium, in which was used this storage energy in order to storage energy and use it later. And what we want in our city is to implement this application as a lighthouse, complemented with the dissemination activities, in order to inform people about the benefits of the projects. And related to public lighting, well, this is one thing in which we don't want to start new activities now, because it's very recent what we did in the system. About well, also we want to use the information of the NextVision project in order to maintain interoperability with other city platforms that we have in our city. And I think this is all. Thank you very much for your kind attention. And if you want to see more about, thank you very much. Thank you very much. If you want to see more about this project, we have a stand in the Pavilion B N60. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. Really appreciate that. Right. So how are we all doing? We're all good? Cool. Brilliant. So we're going to move on to our last presentation. This comes from Patrick Prunet, who's the project director at GRT Gas. And he's going to be talking about synergies of the electricity and the heat networks, the Tenor project. So I'll now hand over to Patrick. Thank you.
Thank you to welcome me. Let me introduce myself quickly. So I'm Patrick Prunet from GRT Gas company, which is a gas French gas TSO. And I'm a project director. I'm going to show you a project combining gas network, electricity network, and heat network. The main topic of this project is to recover the gas expansion, because we have a fatal gas expansion, and the idea is to become more efficiency and to turn this gas expansion into electricity. To do that, we put a turbine, an expansion turbine, in parallel with the existing grid. You have the valve. Normally, the pressure is released by a valve. In parallel, we put a turbine connected to a generator, and we can produce electricity. The letdown of the gas is made through the turbine, and which move in rotation, and the generator produce electricity. But the main issue you face with such technology, it was a matter of cold. You lower the gas temperature. You lower the gas temperature, and it becomes very cold until minus 30 degrees Celsius, and it could be a problem for the gas network integrity. So you have to preheat. So the idea, the innovative solution consists of finding a good way to preheat. So at first, we use a cogeneration. I don't know if you are aware about cogeneration. It's a gas turbine which produces electricity as power plant, and the heat into the smoke is recovered, and it is used for preheating the gas before the gas expansion. It is a high efficiency facility because the yield of such equipment is around 90%. Otherwise, you can value your the cooling energy directly by an heat exchanger if you are close to a cooling network. We make a benchmark, and we saw that such facilities exist around Europe. It's an example of turbine. So we decided to to implement a pilot. We found a substation, a gas substation, with land which are available where we can put the turbine. We are not far from the grid, the electrical grid, to connect the power plant, and we are not far from the geothermal network, which we are going to use that. The scheme shows the principle. During winter, you use cogeneration because cogeneration is virtuous, and you heat you preheat the gas, and you produce electricity, and the gas temperature in the output is higher enough and comply with grid integrity. And during autumn, on August, July, you use the geothermal water, and you can treat by using this heat. I want to move quickly to the main principle of this pilot is to optimize the design turbine, is to optimize the heating because we can switch from cogeneration to the geothermal heat. It's to build a power generation forecasting, and on the last stage is to optimize the flow to maximize the gas expansion and recovery. So it's a smart grid. You combine gas, electricity, and water on geothermal heat. I want to go quickly on this slide, which are too detailed for this presentation. It was a benchmark of the price. The electricity price is competitive with other price coming from renewable energy. And I would like to end my, it was the funding agency for this pilot. And I would like to end up my presentation by showing you a film. Normally, I have to. Yeah.
GRTgaz is exploring a new recovery technology to add value to the energy carried in its network. It's called the Tenor program. In order to deliver the gas to the final customers, the pressure of the gas flowing through the transport network must be reduced at various points of the network. We call this gas expansion. Currently, the energy released by gas expansion is lost. The Tenor program is exploring a method of recovering it. How? By adding a turbo expander, specially designed for GRTgaz by Enotime, an innovative French SME. The turbo expander is implemented on a new pressure reduction line parallel to the existing one, towards which the gas flow is diverted. The existing line and letdown regulator are kept as a backup. The turbo expander is driven by the pressure difference due to gas expansion. Connected to a generator, it produces electricity. Then this electricity is directly injected into the network. The Tenor installation must meet another technical challenge: managing the lower.
Yeah.
Do you want to go back to your presentation?
No, I would have to try to make it running. It's not possible.
Let me see if I can switch it.
Maybe we can restart.
Doesn't seem to be wanting to do it.
Yeah.
It seems to be stuck on that slide.
On the slide, not on the movie.
Are these trying to move the presentation on a bit?
It was a slide before.
It's this one here.
Not the last one, the one before. Yes. No. This one.
Also use the clicker.
Yes.
So this is his presentation there.
Yes, one after. Let's go. Normally it's
No, that's the video.
Maybe I can try to.
Okay.
I think you are there. No, you are up. Bon, it's pity.
Want to stop it here or?
It doesn't work. Normally, I tried this morning. It was okay.
Oh, sorry about that.
Bon, but okay. I'm going to.
Is it frozen? No, it didn't seem to like it for some reason.
Normally, I have a presentation and it was separated. Maybe I have two files, one for the film and one for the presentation. And
it's all on the server and I don't have.
Okay. I come back to my.
Should we give it to
my presentation, but I am going to end very quickly.
Yeah, let's do that. Apologies for that. I think the technology's beaten us this time with the videos.
Bon.
Ja, aber mit hin und her scrollen und
okay.
Ja, geht
sorry for that. So I'm going to end up my presentation. It's we have a network potential which is which consists of 30 substations which can be equipped with gas expansion turbine and the il n'y a plus de son maintenant dans les il n'y a plus de.
It is working. It's coming through on their headset, so I think that's why the volume is low. We're going to try that one.
Okay. Et là, c'est mieux là? Non, j'ai rien là. C'est ouais. So we can install gas turbine expansion on 30 potential substation, and the total amount of electricity which will be produced is around 30% of our consumption, which is huge because we have a lot of electrical compression. So we have other application. because when we don't have any geothermal heat, we can use fatal heat coming from factories. We can also replace or take over the geothermal heat by a solar panel. It was thermal solar panel, and it's an innovative solution where we can produce hot water with a competitive price. I show you the scheme with a solar farm. So you have cogeneration. You have cogeneration and hot water coming from the thermal solar farm, and it's a way to preheat the gas and to recover the gas expansion through electricity. Thank you.
Apologies for the technical difficulties. Apologies for that.
The theme was the most important point of the presentation.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, it's working. Okay, so hopefully you can all hear me. I can't hear myself, which is probably not a bad thing. But that's it for the this morning session. We're due to come back at 2 o'clock when I think we'll be finding out the final results and lessons learned from SmartNet. So hope to see you all back here at 2 o'clock. Thank you. That's it. That's me done.
It's difficult, but all the people have to wear the headsets.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because if I'm turning louder and louder,
everybody else can't hear. No, I mean,
I know.
They were told that.
I know that all the speakers are not used to a situation like this.
Promise they use basically into their presentations, and they'll work on their laptops, but they won't work when they come here. Well, you shouldn't,
Yeah.
If I put the videos in your presentation, you're going to get problems. I think that's
the video worked, but he wanted to stop it, or I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine.